What's up YouTube? My name is Tiffany Ong. I'm a registered dietitian. I have a private practice focused in sports nutrition and weight loss. So if you are an athlete yourself or consider yourself an active individual, feel free to reach out to me for one-on-one nutrition counseling and I'd be happy to help you. So for today's video, we're going to jump right into the Monday quiz answers explained. I do these quizzes every Monday, so if you want to participate on my stories, you can follow my Instagram right here. It's Tiffany Ong Nutrition, and be sure to participate. I'll also put the link in the description to my website as well as my Instagram page for you guys to contact me and ask me any questions. But please make sure you give this video a like, comment down below, and share this with your friends and family so that we can all be nutritionally educated. Okay, so jumping right into the quiz. Question number 1. Which is least helpful when recovering from sickness? A, extra fluids, B, antioxidant-rich foods, C, skip supplements, and D, extra sleep. If you guys don't get this right answer, I'm going to be mad because I post this question or a question related to this topic so often. I have a post on it about polyphenols. But yes, antioxidant-rich foods are one of the things that do help recovery from illness. And the right answer to this question is skipping supplements. If you are taking supplements that were recommended by your doctor or your dietitian, please do not stop taking those. So many of my clients often stop taking them or forget about them, or they become the last priority on the list. But obviously those supplements can help you recover faster and give your immune system and your health an overall boost to get better. Extra fluids are always going to help you stay hydrated, especially when you're sick. We tend to, eat a little bit less or feel a little bit more groggy, so it can also give you that energy that you need. But while we're at it, this is really annoying. It's like, I like to sip my water. Anyway, extra sleep. Sleep is not a bad thing, okay? I know some people say, getting too much sleep is a bad thing too. I mean, there comes a point where you don't want to be sleeping 20 hours a day and then be awake for 4. But obviously, when you're sick, your body needs rest. It needs to recover. So take the extra time to close your eyes and enjoy that sleep. Number 2, which protein takes the longest to cook? A, shrimp, B, chicken, C, beef, and D, tofu. Everyone knows that I'm always raving about fish and shellfish because those are actually super quick to make. If you've ever gotten frozen shrimp, one, they're really easy to defrost. You just toss it in, a bowl of warm water. Don't do this with meats because it can increase the temperature danger zone for growing bacteria. But shrimp defrost in literally a couple minutes under warm water. When it cooks in a pan or in soup or in the oven, it only takes several minutes. And that's really easy to tell when it's done because it turns red. Beef is also pretty fast in cooking, unless you're my mother and you kind of overcook it. If you're watching, Mom, I'm sorry, but you do overcook the steak. But anyway, whether it's a tender cut of beef or a not so tender cut of beef, usually it's not going to take as long to cook out of these choices. Tofu is also easy to really cook quickly just because a lot of times if you want to just pan fry it, then that's fine. But it's also not prone to being in that temperature danger zone to consume. So the reason why chicken takes the longest to cook, or chicken boobies, they need to be cooked to a very high temperature out of all of these. So that temperature is 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you don't cook your chicken thoroughly, you can develop food poisoning, which is why it's so important to make sure that that chicken is cooked. No one wants to be... Don't do it! But again, shrimp is a clear sign of when it's done cooking. Beef can be a little bit less cooked inside, and that's simply okay, which is why it takes less time. Unless you're braising it or, having it tenderize in a stew, that's when it might take a little bit longer, but again, it's not necessary. Tofu also does not need to be cooked to such a high temperature inside. And the reason why I put this question out there is also because I get a lot of questions about how to make meal prep a little bit quicker, a little bit easier during your week, how to cook meals that are balanced but in a very efficient manner. And one thing that really helps cut the cooking time and meal prep time is looking for those quick and easy proteins that you could just throw in anything. So other choices you can throw with a bowl of rice, you can put it in pasta, you can put it on the side with side dishes. Like, it doesn't really matter. You just have to, know what's going to work for you and your schedule. Number 3, which carb is most nutritious? A, white rice, B, Idaho potato, C, enriched pasta, or D, they're all very similar in nutritional value. I don't care if your potatoes come from Idaho or what other states are there besides Idaho that potatoes are coming from. You know what I mean. Even if it's brown rice, even if it's whole wheat pasta, enriched pasta, honestly, those differences are very minute. And when it comes down to it, they're all essentially a very strong carb source. So yes, when you compare white rice to brown rice might have a little bit more fiber because of the hull that around the rice. It might have a little bit more vitamins and minerals in there, but again, it's very minute. You'd have to really break it down to see the significant differences. Same with, the different types of pasta. Same with sweet potato versus regular potato or Idaho potato. It's all basically the same. With this question, I didn't want to mix in the brown rice, sweet potato, whole wheat pasta, because I knew that would automatically throw everyone off and make them feel like, there's some sort of difference. So really, between rice and potato and pasta, again, they're all very similar. It's not like one has a special superpower. And I hate the word superfood because that's not a real thing, okay? Every food can be important in a diet. Nothing is more powerful than the other. It depends what kind of moderation or how you're incorporating that food into your diet that matters. Number 4, vegans should take protein supplements. A, true, B, false. The answer is false, okay? All my vegans out there, love ya. I'm all inclusive, nothing against you. But please stop assuming that you need to take protein supplements in order to meet your protein requirements. Now, depending on who you are, what you're doing, why you're even vegan, can really determine what protein needs you might need. So if you're an athlete who's a vegan, yes, you might need more protein. Does that mean you can't get it from foods? No, there's certainly other foods such as a lot of legumes, a lot of whole grains, a lot of protein-enriched foods nowadays, especially Barilla protein pasta, which is one of my favorites that I eat, even though I'm not a vegan. Popcorn is Flex protein chips, vegan Kodiak cakes. These are all a lot of options that you don't typically see them as a protein source, but they can definitely make an impact on meeting that protein requirement. And another reason why I threw this question in there is because so many people just assume that having a protein supplement is healthy for you and is going to do wonders for you. But again, not everyone needs this, and it depends on your individual diet. And we're always going to come back to that individualization. Most of you said true, so it does make me, want to just throw this out there to you all that protein supplements are not always the answer. I don't even take protein supplements 95% of the time because I am meeting my needs through food, and that is something I will always emphasize as a dietitian, that food must come first. Supplements are to supplement your diet, so do not replace meals with protein supplements. Do not replace foods that you like, such as a candy bar, such as a cookie, for a protein bar, for a protein cookie. Those things taste like trash anyway, so stop eating them and wasting your calorie bank to feel like you're meeting a healthier need. Number 5, powerlifters would benefit from carb loading. A, true, B, false. The answer is false, okay? Powerlifting as a sport is not an endurance sport. It's not aerobic sport. So carb loading is more for those people who are cyclists, runners, marathon runners, or people who do triathlons. Carb loading is basically filling all of your glycogen stores with energy so that when you come down to these races and you're starting to deplete those stores, you've kind of filled it to the max, to the point that it can help you sustain that energy over a very long period of time, which is why carb loading is not necessary for powerlifters who are doing very short sets, who are not putting their body at work for a very long time. Don't get this mixed up with eating more carbs for a meet, or eating a little bit extra sugar or candy to be able to have that energy immediately. Like, that's not what carb loading is for. Carb loading is also a very specific protocol for these athletes. So it's a very large amount of carb. 10 to 12 grams per kilogram of body weight, 1 to 2 days before an event. And if you take that number, 10 to 12 grams, let's just even take 10. Say I'm weighing right now about 138. So if I'm 138, divide that by 2.2, that means I'm 62.7 kilograms. Times that by 10, okay, that's 627 grams of carbs per day, and that a couple days before an event. So if you take, for example, to make this easy, 1 cup of rice, that has 45 grams of carbs. If I were to need 627 grams of carbs in a day, that's almost saying that I need 14 cups of rice. Do you know how much rice that is? That's a lot of carbs. And of course, obviously your daily intake of carbs is not going to be just from rice. It can be other things, especially part of other meals. But just to visualize that for you, 14 cups of rice is a lot. I would never do carb loading for a powerlifter for just a training session. That doesn't make sense. So think about that, and if you are an athlete who is a cyclist, a marathon runner, a triathlon athlete, then yes, you might want to consider carb loading. That has been proven by research to be very helpful. If you're a powerlifter, my man, don't do it. It's not good. Especially if you're about to compete at a meet. I know a lot of powerlifters out there are concerned about weight classes, not going over the weight class, because that puts you at a big disadvantage when it comes to lifting ratios. So if you load up on carbs, your body is going to hold on to a lot of water, because for every gram of carbs, your body holds on to about 3 grams of water. So think about that. Like, if you're almost tripling or quadrupling your carb intake, then you're going to be holding on to a shit ton of water. So again, please don't do that if you are a strength athlete or not an endurance athlete. So my friends, that is it. I hope you guys like this short and sweet one. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them down below. Follow my Instagram page, subscribe to this channel, and click that notification bell so that you don't miss any videos that I post, because I do be posting a little bit infrequently, especially if it's not related to these Monday quizzes. So make sure you follow up with that, and be sure to leave this video a like. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, eat well, train often. Bye guys.